Hello, so this should be a good introduction into some basics of drum programming. If this isn't your software of choice, doesn't matter. If this isn't your patch of choice, it does not matter. This is completely transferable to any sort of programming MIDI, and maybe later I'll go on to audio. So you have your patch. I'm just using a Spitfire Labs free drum kit patch. It's free, so that's why. Why not? If you have East West, they have some amazing drum patches on there. Some other ones aren't expensive. Always buy software on discounts. It's always going to be discounted at some point, so wait for that. What you want to do when you find your drum kit is separate what you want. This is just the same patch layered multiple times. There's many ways to do that. You do it however you want, however your computer can manage it. And what you want to do is when you play the keyboard, or your physical typing keyboard or your musical keyboard, however you're going to implement this, you need to find out which note plays what. So if I have a kick there on the C, snare on the D, and then I've got all my hats, and then toms will be around here somewhere too. So what you do then is you can do one of two things here. You can play it in. So if I just play my MIDI keyboard, I can do that if I want. Not very well, but I can. Some people do it much better than that. If you can't do it as well, much like me, then you've got to go for the old school, drawing it in. What I like to do is just record all the notes I'm going to use and then separate them out. So if I just hit record here, I know I'm going to use a kick, I know I'm going to use a snare, I know I'm going to use the hi-hats, and I'm going to keep it like that for now. Anything else I can add later on. So let me just separate these out. Okay, kick, snare. So now I've got all my patches all set up in here. Wait 1 second. In here, I've got all my patches all set up in here. I'm not going to need that. Lost it. Okay. Kick, snare, hats. So I will make them all a nice equal length. Very easily there. And split. And delete. Okay, so let's do a kick on every let's do a kick on every beat. How am I so confused here? There we go. A kick on every beat. That's 4. Let's do a snare on every second and third. And we will just do the closed hats all the way through, like so. I will add an extra one, a little more open hat there, and an actual open hat on the first one. With this patch, if you play an open then a closed, it will simulate the close like that. If you let it ring like that, so it simulates the foot closing it. So I've done that. So to make this right, I need to drag that on one more. I do that and that and that. Completely not with it today. That's your drum kit. I'm going to slow the tempo down here. Let's put it down 100. Very Stevie Wonder. Okay, so we have this now. What we want to do is make that less robotic. So how we do that is a little bit of drum programming. What we need to do is really mix up these velocities a little bit. There's a super simple way to do this, which is just to highlight all of what you want to change, and then you go to functions and humanize. Most software has a humanize option. Logic's is great. You can change what you want to humanize. I would, rather than me explain this, if you want to get into humanizing, I would go through this and just change some stuff and press operate. You can always go back and reset it to default if you really don't know what the hell you've done. This just changes the frequency and the distance that it will simulate. So for example, if I mess with these and make them really high, it will simulate a velocity that's a huge difference. If I make them really low, like somewhere near where they are, it will do minor differences. I can show that here. So if I highlight my kicks again and just if I click operate only, it's going to do what I've highlighted. So if I operate only, see how that's made them all a different level. Kicks. So if I go back, look, they're all a straight velocity, bar that one that I moved before. So they're all a flat velocity. If I operate, they now all change. So now I'm going to move that here so you can see, and I'm going to just keep operating, and it just keeps randomizing it. It will also, I don't know if you can see, it will also very slightly, because I've done it so many times, it's not so slight anymore, but it will move them just off the beat as well on the default settings. I use the default settings 9 times out of 10. Only specific circumstances I won't. This is fine, the layout that's here. So I'm going to roll all that back. Whoops. And what happens here is it just makes a more human element. So if I operate and play, you can really hear it in these two. It's one's louder than the other basically because the person's hitting it harder. So that's just what that simulates. I like this without the kicks on the 2 and the 3. So what I can do now is go to my snare and do the same thing. Functions, MIDI transform, humanize, and I will operate only. Let's go daring and press it twice. See what happens. I can already tell this might be too loud. It's the opposite, it's too quiet. So this one, what we have here is an outlier. So this needs to go up a tiny bit. And I want the last one to really go for it. So this is where you come in and change the robot automation to more human. So what I'm simulating here is this to be the same level as the other, and this one to be a player. So if you imagine playing the drums, that last one, I really want to go for it. And that's it. That's humanization. I will do once more for the hats. Let's try. That one needs to go with the rest of them. I'm just going to lower it down and we'll see what happens here. So obviously again, these open hats, a player would probably really go for a hit on them. So let's turn them up, and the first hats would also most likely follow suit. So especially numero uno. And all I'm doing here at the start look is simulating a hard hit and then slowly gets weaker. In the middle brings it up, weaker, really hits it at the end, start again. That's all that's simulating there. And that just changes everything. So if I drag this out again, and then I turn all the humanizing off and just make it all a straight level I hope. There we go. Let's listen to it here. Then with the humanizing. You can tell it really makes a difference there. I mean, if I was just not doing drum programming and I just didn't know what I was doing and turned this all the way up and went for it, there might be some applications where that makes sense, but most of the time, a little bit more realistic. Some variation there. This is just full on. So I'll keep that later for reference. I'm gonna definitely turn down that velocity though. That's excessive. Okay, so now we have this. Something else a lot of people I see miss out is something called ghost notes. Ghost notes on a snare drum are just, you know, they are what they are. They're just ghost notes. How that works is the drummer will play and then let the stick bounce, just have a loose grip. And it would sound something, I want to make sure this is a nice even note. So what this would sound like is, if I turn all of this down, okay, this is basically ghost notes. If I turn it down, that's ghost notes. So what I want to do is add them before and after a snare hit, and that's how ghost notes work. So let's play that. That's it, that's how it works. It's very robotic at the minute, because what we can do is change it up. I don't like that. I don't like that. Oops. But I maybe like this. Okay. So I've changed that one. Let's do another one here. Careful, MIDI does not overlap. Sometimes it will put it out. Okay. So that's ghost notes. What I can also do is then only select the ghost notes, MIDI transform, and the old humanize. I will do a double operate. Make sure I turn these down. And add some realism. You should really program these relatively different all the way through, but what I'll do for the sake of time is just copy and paste. So that's ghost notes. What I can do now, just to show you an extreme, is I will just add these again. Yeah, let's do it on this layer here. Turn it down even more. I don't like that. Let's just put it on here. You see how ghost notes work? If I play that in total, what am I doing here? Perfect. There's too many at the end here. Just want that. Nice. So again, if we compare with the old one, this is the old track. And the new one. There's a lot of tweaks that need to happen there. There's a lot of notes sticking out that shouldn't be in the ghosts, and some other things happening. And also, as you can see here, these are double layered, which is a big oh no. But we're okay. We know that they're there. We can always fix them later. So we can even do the same thing for the hi-hats if we really wanted. So let's just For the sake of time, do that. Turn this down. Can you hear those ghost notes? If I take them out. So yeah, much better. Let's just add them in as well. Why not? Let's go for toms. I gotta find the toms. Lems. Okay, we've only got 2 toms here, which is fine. 1, 2. So we'll do a high tom and a mid tom. I know it's probably a floor tom, but sake of it, I will just do it as this. There we go. High tom and a floor tom. What you can do here as well, by the way, as you can see, these are labeled incorrectly. If you drag these on like this, whoops. Actually, that's better because you can see. So if I just create a blank layer on all of these and then hit J, connect them. Now they should all be labeled correctly. I can then go back and do that and that. Badoosh. I'll just drag these out for the bar. Okay, toms, we're going to go over here. And we're going to mid tom, high tom. So let's just do the 1, 2. So let's just do this and we'll automate it so it goes one higher than the other. And this one is going to do the same. See what that sounds like. So what we're going to get into terms of here is realistically. So as you can see in this chaos, we have a snare and a tom and a hi-hat. Drummers don't typically have 3 arms, so how he's managing to play all those 3, I'm not sure. Might not be possible. So what you want to do if you think about real-world examples, there is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with you throwing in a 10-arm drummer. There's nothing wrong with that at all, if what you're making allows that. If I'm making a realistic drum programmed situation, which I am, a 3-arm drummer is not okay. So we have to take something out. So what we can take out is the snare. So we take out the snare and the ghost note. Okay, that works. What I want to do is now add a kick to replace the snare. Nice. The other thing we could have done is swapped the snare and the hat. We can keep the kick because that's on the foot, so. Nice. What else we can do here is add more notes. So maybe I want 2. Let's go crazy. Maybe I want 2 here as well. This can be a bit much. See? You can add more stuff in. And for the sake of realism, these 2 notes are same velocity. I want the second note to be a little bit less, because realistically, your second note following the first one usually has less impact. Nice. And then to end it off, let's have just an open hat ring out. Okay, I've made a mistake there. It's a snare on the hat level. So let's go to snare. Get in. Let's get a big one. Done. let's have a listen. Let's compare it with the other one. Yeah, just a world apart. Okay, let's add some toms in the middle somewhere. So here's the middle. Let's have a look at where we can put them. We've got these ghost notes here. I'm gonna take the ghost notes out because, talking about realism again, it's not realistic. So on here, I want to add in a tom, and here add in another tom. Here, I think. Let's just turn these up. Let's do. Let's do this. Chaos. But I like it. I want that floor tom to get absolutely smacked. I want this one to get smacked. Let's give it a go. Nice. So because this one has a double fill here, I'm going to change this double fill to the start. So now he's going to go floor tom, then the high toms, and then the floor tom. Okay. Let's see what happens to take that out. Nice. Let's take this floor tom out, see what happens. Actually, let's just not have that in there. Let's put the floor tom there. Again, in the interest of realism. I like that. The other thing we can do is add a short build up with these toms. So let's take this back to start. We want to go to the floor toms. We want to get these. We want to build them up. Let's go crazy here. Let's get 2 of them. No, that is crazy. But what I want to do actually is layer them up. So it's simulating 2 sticks instead of 1. So on the high tom layer and the mid tom layer, I've got floor toms playing. So it's like 2 sticks. Some patches have a 2-stick option. I believe this one does. Let's find it. Yeah, these are 2 sticks. Phlegms, I believe they're called. Like that. And what we can do for more realism is take every other one, delete it. Oh no, sorry, wrong patch. Let's move it down. Maybe which one? The last one's be a phlegm. And we just play around here and see what sounds best. I think they all need to be a little bit louder. Okay, good build up. Let's add another one. I want this one to just be straight. And I like that. Nice. So because now these are all on different layers, what you are supposed to do is change, what bus is 33? 1 second. Oh, you aren't on a bus. 33. Okay, we have a drum room. Right, so what we can do here is, because these are all on separate layers, we can all send them to separate places. So what we can do is put them all in the same room. If I put them all on a room reverb, I'm going to make this quicker here. Just get all them, whoops, on a bus 1. So now what I'm going to do is loop it. Not the intro, actually with the intro. And I'm going to just turn this bus up slowly to put them all in the same room. I'll go to an extreme so you can hear the difference, and I'll work my way back. So now they're all in the same room. Now what you do is take elements of them, because they're separate and not all the same track, we change the room even more. I realise these aren't what they're supposed to be, but what I'll do is just put this in string reverb, just for the difference. It shouldn't be, it should have its own reverb, not strings. So let's now solo this, and we'll add even more reverb to the snare. Okay, snare's got a bit more to it. Now let's do hats. I think these can just have a bit too much, but a bit more reverb on the room. All a bit too much reverb, but for the sake of letting you know, this is a good way to do it. So let's just solo this and try and get a good reverb. I'm just going to do bus 1 again. Actually, no, for the sake of it, let's do the wood verb. Okay, again, it's a bit too much, but for what we're doing, it'll be fine. I'm adding more tail on the end of the loop. Mouse get big, because I want to hear the tail of the reverb. So again, let's just put this in a whole new verb. Nice. Okay, let's listen. Not bad. I will do comparison here. Let's go one after the other. What I'll do as well is when this one finishes, I will turn on the reverb. So if I do this and this, I can hopefully quickly get to the reverb before this ends. Okay, let's give that a go. So no reverb, no automation, nothing. I want to be able to see. You see here, look, that's far more realistic than straight like this. And that's what we've done. So I will let these two play, and I'll do what I said. Okay, let's hit it. Oh, they're so different. Let's leave this with the verb. Just no comparison. One is clearly more realistic. I'm not going to say better. One is clearly more realistic than the other. There's definitely places where this makes absolute sense, and the same for this. It's just two ways of doing it. This is drum programming. You can do however you want. What I will do next time is, or in the next video about drum programming, I'll do this again, but with audio. So if you don't have MIDI, or you don't have a MIDI library good enough to sound good, basically, even though Labs is free, you can pick it up. I believe it's free still. I hope it is, because Labs is great. I use loads of Labs stuff. Spitfire Labs, just Spitfire Labs, Google it, you'll get it. Very easy to download and get. Grab these drums. If not, use your own MIDI patches, get some new MIDI patches. Most people use East-West starting out. Highly recommend East-West. I learned almost everything on East-West, and then when I got into it, I bought some better stuff. That's how it goes. Yeah, next time I will show you this in audio, because you can do the same thing, but using audio and manipulate it that way. If you don't have a patch or you prefer audio, a lot of EDM-y kind of stuff, techno, dancey, all that kind of stuff is all usually audio files. So that's a good way to do it too. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you later.